What if you could generate a month of content from one conversation? In this video, I'll show you how to turn a single 30-minute conversation into over 20 high-impact content pieces. I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step system that covers everything: what to ask in the interview, what to create, how to repurpose each asset, and how to build a system so this content machine runs every single month. Whether you're trying to grow awareness, generate leads, or just keep your channels alive with valuable content, this workflow will help you grow. Let's get into it. Most small marketing teams are under constant pressure to be everywhere all the time. You've got channels to manage, content to create, reports to run, and you're probably doing it all solo or with a small team. That's where repurposing is essential. Instead of trying to create something new for every platform every week, you're taking the work you've already done, like recording an interview, and turning it into a content engine. Here's why it works so well. First, it saves serious time. According to recent research, 65% of marketers say repurposing is more cost-effective than creating new content from scratch. You're not starting over, you're building smarter. Second, it expands your reach. That same webinar that 30 people watched live, it can reach hundreds more as YouTube clips, articles, LinkedIn posts, and newsletter tips. Third, it builds brand consistency. Repeating the same message across multiple channels in varied formats actually makes your brand more memorable. And maybe most importantly, repurposing gives your content a longer life. So now that you know why repurposing is such a powerful strategy for lean teams, let me show you exactly how to do it. I'm going to break this down into 5 clear steps, from planning your interview all the way to publishing over 20 pieces of content across your channels. Let's get into it. Step number 1, define goals and platforms. Before you record anything, take a step back and define your end goal. Ask yourself, why am I creating this content and what do I want it to do for my business? Is it brand awareness, SEO traffic, lead gen, nurturing prospects? Your answer will shape what kinds of content you create and what platforms you focus on. If you're on a small team, you should not try to be everywhere. Choose 2 to 3 platforms based on where your audience already spends time and where you can realistically show up consistently. Here's a simple platform breakdown. If your goal is brand awareness, you might want to focus on LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, or Instagram Reels. If you're trying to build authority, LinkedIn, a podcast, or long-form YouTube content. If your goal is SEO traffic, a blog or YouTube is great. If your goal is lead gen and nurture, an email newsletter, landing pages, and LinkedIn are great platforms. Step 2, choose the right topic. The success of your entire content repurposing workflow hinges on picking the right topic. A vague or generic topic will leave you with surface level insights, but a smart, specific topic gives your content depth. It leads to stronger stories, more standout quotes, and tons of angles you can break into clips, posts, blogs, and more. Great topics are usually hiding in plain sight. You can leverage sales and support calls, focus on the questions that your team is constantly answering. You can rely on customer objections. What are some of the things holding them back from buying? You can check out LinkedIn comments or DMs. What are the questions that are popping up in your content? And so many other places. Here are some ideas on how you can transform basic topics into more strategic content. First, let's start with the basic idea. Using AI in your business. We can make it more strategic by changing it to this: how we use AI to forecast inventory 5 times faster. And here are some other ideas. Improving team productivity to 3 systems we automated to save 10 plus hours a week. Supply chain challenges to why real-time inventory data cuts our stockouts in half. Scaling multi-unit operations to how we run 20 plus locations without losing control of payroll or inventory. Hiring trends in 2025 to why our new onboarding process cut ramp time by 40% without more tools. This is probably the most important step of the process. Spend the majority of your time nailing down a good topic, and remember to focus on what matters to your customer. You don't want every piece of content to be a glorified sales pitch. Really focus on the challenges that you're facing and how you can help them solve it. Once you found a good topic, the next step is to find the right person to talk to. And the good news is you have more options than you think. You could interview someone internally on your team, like a subject matter expert, founder, or product lead, or you could look outside your company, reach out to someone in your network, in your industry, or even someone you admire on LinkedIn. You could even talk to customers or prospects. You'll be pleasantly surprised by how many people say yes. Most people want to share their experiences, ideas, and opinions, especially when it helps others and positions them as a thought leader. Step 3, record a high-quality interview. Okay, so how do you run an interview that gives you strong, reusable content? In this part, I'll walk you through the tools I recommend, some simple tech setup tips, and a few interview techniques that'll help you get the kinds of answers that translate perfectly into clips, blogs, and social content. You don't need to be a tech wizard or an expert interviewer. You just need a solid setup and a little structure. Let's start with tools. You don't need a ton of gear, just the right platform to record clean, high-quality video and audio. It might be important to go back to your goals, because if you're wanting to share content on a video platform like YouTube or LinkedIn, then you definitely want to make sure you have good video. But if you're not really worried about having video content, this isn't quite as important, especially if you're just focusing on written content like a blog. Personally, I think video content is really valuable and I love using Riverside. It's great for remote interviews and gives you high-res video and audio on separate tracks, which makes editing so much easier. But if you're in a pinch, Zoom, Google Meet, or Teams can work too. Just keep in mind that the video and audio quality won't be quite as crisp. Here are a few technical things to check before you hit record. First, use headphones and a plug-in mic if you have one. Even a $60 USB mic will make a really big difference. Find a quiet, well-lit space. Natural light is perfect, or you can use a ring light if you've got one. Make sure to frame both you and your guest from the shoulders up, and try to avoid clutter or distractions in the background. Restart your computer before the call. It clears memory and avoids surprise crashes. And finally, make sure you're on a stable internet connection. If you can plug in with an Ethernet cable, even better. Once you're all set up, it's time for the interview itself. Here's where a little preparation goes a long way. The goal isn't to script every word. Instead, think of your interview as a guided conversation, structured enough to stay focused, but loose enough to let the good stuff surface. You don't need to be an expert in the topic, but you should do some research ahead of time. That way you know what to dig into. Start with open-ended prompts. Can you walk me through X? What changed your mind when you started doing X? What's one thing most people get wrong about Y? I usually prep 5 to 7 solid questions, then let the guest go deep. And be ready to toss the script if something unexpected and valuable comes up. That's often where the best clips and insights live. Step 4, repurpose into 20 plus pieces of content. Here's the fun part. This is where all the prep pays off. The key now is to break it down strategically, pulling the right pieces for the right platforms based on your goals. Let's dive into a few examples. Example 1, assuming you choose LinkedIn, YouTube, and blog as your distribution channels. On LinkedIn, you could create 6 video clips, 2 carousels, and 2 quote card posts. You can definitely vary these numbers, and you might even want to consider expanding them to more, especially if you get a really good interview. Then on YouTube, you could do 1 full episode. This would be a long form piece of content. 6 shorts, and make sure each of these are keyword optimized with a thumbnail and description. On the blog, you could do 2 SEO blog posts and 1 show notes post with the embedded YouTube video. Again, all of these numbers you can change, increase them to whatever makes the most sense for you and your business. So then I'm going to show you how you can break this down into a full month worth of content. So during the first week, you could distribute the full episode on YouTube, share the show notes on your website, and share 3 video clips on LinkedIn. During the second week, you can share your first blog post, 2 shorts on YouTube, and 2 quote cards on LinkedIn. On week 3, you can share the second blog post, 2 shorts on YouTube, and 2 carousels on LinkedIn. Again, you can adjust this to whatever makes the most sense for your business. Now let's look at another example. If you choose an email newsletter, blog, and LinkedIn. For the blog, you could start with 2 SEO blog posts. On email, you could have 2 email newsletters linking back to those blog posts. And then on LinkedIn, you can share 6 video clips, 2 carousels, and 4 quote cards. Here's a sample delivery schedule. During the first week, you can publish your first blog and 2 video clips on LinkedIn. During the second week, you can share the email newsletter linking back to the first blog post, share 2 quote cards and a carousel on LinkedIn. Then during week 3, you can share the second blog post, 2 video clips on LinkedIn, and also 2 quote cards. Then during week 4, you can share an email newsletter going back to that second blog post, 2 video clips on LinkedIn, and a carousel on LinkedIn. There are a lot of tools out there that can help you create all this content. For video, I really like using Descript or CapCut. This is great for editing clips, especially if you're not a professional video editor and grabbing transcriptions. Canva or Figma are also great resources. And then to organize all of your assets, Notion, Trello, or Airtable are great resources. And then to schedule the content on social platforms, Hootsuite or Publer are great. Step 5, create a system and automate it. You've got the strategy, the interview, and the content. Now it's time to make it repeatable. Because the only thing better than creating 20 plus pieces of content from one interview is doing it again the next month without reinventing the wheel every time. The key here is to document your process once, then follow the same steps every time. You can build this in Notion, ClickUp, Trello, or Airtable, whatever helps you stay organized. Create checklists or templates for blog posts, emails, carousels, and clips. The more you systematize, the less you have to think about it every time. If you're on a small team, automation is your best friend. Here are some examples of how to use automation to speed up your process. You can use Zapier or Make to automatically create tasks when a new recording is uploaded. This can include clip creation, blogs, newsletters, etc. You can trigger Slack reminders for publishing. You can also automatically create social posts when a transcript is uploaded. The goal is to remove bottlenecks and keep your content moving. Great content is valuable, but a system makes it sustainable. Set it up once, then keep it running every month. Let's do a quick recap of the 5 steps you can follow to turn one interview into over 20 pieces of strategic content. 1, define your goals and pick 2 to 3 platforms that actually support them. 2, choose the right topic, one that's specific, layered, and tied to a real pain point your audience cares about. 3, record a high-quality interview with a clean setup, strong questions, and a structure that makes repurposing easy. 4, break that interview into 20 plus assets from videos, blog posts to quote cards, carousels, and newsletters. 5, create a system and automate it so this becomes a monthly content engine, not a one-time win. If you're a solo marketer or part of a lean B2B team, this workflow is how you stop chasing content and start scaling it. If you want more videos like this, hit subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Until next time.